Okay, so it looks like the local recording is working. What's up, guys? I am going to do first impressions. My friend literally just jumped in and was like, "Oh my god, you guys, the patch notes." So this is the Balance of Power update, and it seems like we're going to get Arc Warden added into the game. And I'm not familiar with Dota 1, so I've never played Arc Warden at all. So we're going to run over these abilities really quick. Flux infuses a lone enemy unit with a swirling volatile energy, slowing its movement speed and dealing damage over time. The effect is muted if another enemy unit is near the target. Interesting. So good for solo ganks, I guess. Generates a circular distortion field of magnetic energy that grants evasion and attack speed bonus to an allied hero and buildings within. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. That sounds like maybe, I don't know too much about Arc Warden's stats, but like you could have like a drums carrier Arc Warden, something like that, and you're generating all this fucking attack speed and shit. Or Arc Warden would combine really well with like Weave or something. Summons a Spark Wraith that slowly materializes and haunts a targeted area until an enemy comes within its range. Once a target has been found, the Wraith fuses with them, dealing magical damage. That's kind of weird. It's like a setting like a trap of some kind, and so I guess I don't know. That could be cool. It depends on how much damage it does. I don't quite know how that's going to work. And then his ultimate is the ability to create a duplicate of himself. And I also don't know how that works, but it sounds super broken. Zeus Arcana, Tempest Helm of the Thunder God. So it looks like we're going to have Zeus Arcana, but it looks also kind of like that they're releasing the new, the new base model and texture. We get an animated chat emoticon, altered voice, special blink effect. That's pretty cool. This says buy now. I swear to God, if we have to buy this item, whatever. I'll probably buy it because Zeus is one of my best heroes. It pisses me off a little bit though. The Sundered Moon. Click image to advance. Is this... this like a comic to introduce Arc Warden or to introduce Zeus's Arcana? Yeah, something like that. The desert terrain map, along with the music pack, is coming out. Ultra shadow quality, whatever that is. Players can now select ultra shadow quality in the video settings menu, rendering at twice the previously supported resolution. The ultra setting offers more vibrant hero and terrain shadows regardless of map terrain type or weather effect. Colosseum is a new desert map available to all. The Desert Colosseum map brings a fresh level design and deadly boulder trap to the popular custom game mode. Okay, so it's like Haunted Colosseum stuff. A new nested treasure. Okay, so new in the client. Hero stats. I like that a lot as somebody who's trying to improve. And then also for people who are involved with teams and stuff like that, dealing with things like that, being able to look at hero stats is very helpful. Easy access armory. So I guess they're doing some updates. Ah, yes, they finally added a fucking store tab. As somebody who loves to buy items, God, I'm so happy. Private chat channels. Interesting. Ooh, a map change. By nature's will and battle scars, the lands around the river have changed. Explore new paths of opportunity and escape on both the radiant and dire sides. Mastery of these paths may determine whether you're returned to the fountain by means of teleportation or from beyond the Veil of the Dead. So it looks like Radiant is getting some kind of like the way that their ancients work is going to be a little bit different. I'll jump into the test client if that's going to update. Let me look really fast. Yeah, so that's going to update. So I'll jump into that immediately afterwards so that I can check on that. Okay, so new is the Arcane Rune. From battle's beginning to Ancient's End, heroes clash to briefly control the mystical energies that spawn near the river bends. Now a new power flows into a rune form, a prize to spellcasters and fighters alike. The Arcane Rune infuses its user's abilities with arcane energy, reducing all spell cooldowns and mana cost. So, is that going to be like a rune? Like, is there going to be a constant battle over that rune, similar to like things in League? Like, are arcane runes just going to spawn randomly, and is it going to be a permanent reduction to all spell cooldowns, or is it going to be like, oh, I just like ulted as Magnus, and oh shit, I found an arcane rune, now my ultimate cooldown time is cut in half or something like that. So there's new items. Fairy Fire. For a meager offering, gain the blessing of the Fae. The intense glow of Fairy Fire grants wielders increased damage against their foes and can be consumed to restore health. So that's kind of similar to the Mango. Dragonlance. Possesses strength and reach of a Wyvern Rider. The Dragonlance bestows equal amounts of strength, attack, and speed and damage. The lance also extends the attack range of any ranged heroes who carry it to battle. That seems stupid as shit if you're running like a Coralina, because her range is already ridiculous. This I can see being really fucking annoying. The Aether Lens boosts the mana and magic resistance of its bearer while also granting improved health regen. With the lens as the focal point for arcane power, a caster gains increased spell range and damage output. That could be interesting for like late game for supports. Again, I really want to see the stats on this stuff. So, offering armor and quelling blade bonuses, the Iron Talon joins the list of essential battlefield tools. While posing no threat to enemy heroes or the ancient beasts of the forest, the piercing blow of the Talon is feared by all lesser creatures and the occasional tree. So this is going to be like an increased quelling blade, like to increase jungle time, or jungle efficiency, I guess. And Oracle, Earth Spirit, and Terrorblade have been added to the Captain's mode. They added neutral creep camps, so yeah, they're definitely getting more beneficial to the junglers. And oh god, they had hero updates, so they did rework the heroes in a way, it would seem. Okay, here we go. Gameplay update. So it's not permanent, it lasts for 50 seconds. Causes all spell cooldowns to be reduced by 30% and mana cost to be reduced by 50%. That's pretty good. I don't think it's going to be like something that is sought after the ultimate, but it's going to be one of those runes that sort of enables you to like force a team fight if put on the right hero. Kind of like a double damage rune, like when your carry picks it up or your high damage dealer, you're just like, okay, we could go pick a team fight with this, or like we can use this in a team fight to swing. The arcane rune would be something similar, where it's like if you have a really spammable but really good spell, or even just that cooldown reduction of like 30% on something that's got like a mid-range cooldown cost, like Tomb or something like that, that could be pretty cool. Creep bounty increases by 1 gold per normal upgrade cycle. So, okay. A little more incentive to farm the creep wave, I guess. Siege damage units against heroes has increased. So, wow. So that's 13% more damage from the tower. So they're going to hit really fucking hard. They did increase the base HP to compensate a little bit. Creeps now arrive slightly closer to the top Dire Tower and bottom Radiant Tower. Okay, so that could make a pull a little bit more effective. It's going to get your creeps further behind the tower, at least. But it also, you know, helps your safe lane farm a little more, or more efficiently. Random draft pool increased. Added random draft to ranked matchmaking. That's funny. Centaur Courser now has a stacking magic resistance aura. Interesting. Hellbear now has a stacking magic resistance aura. Dragonhide's aura stackable armor increased from 2 to 3. Ancient Dragon's armor is reduced by 1. Ancient neutrals now behave like normal neutrals and split experience with all heroes in AoE. Okay, that's interesting. Added a new ability to Ancient Black Dragon, which is Fireball. Wow, that deals quite a bit of damage. Ancient Thunderhide's Frenzy is now unit targetable. Hill Troll Priest mana aura increased from 2 to 3. Satyr Banisher's Purge cooldown is reduced. That's crazy. Like, that gets used quite a bit on Doom, and I mean, like, it's not like crazy, but like, you know, that's a pretty significant change to that ability. I think that people will pay a lot more attention to it now because like a 3-second cooldown on Purge, it's like a 100 or 50 mana or something like that. That's a really good thing to have. Citron Shockwave distance increase. Unholy Aura HP regen increase from 4 to 6. That's really cool. Roshan base armor increased by 1. Base attack time increased from 1 to 2. Roshan now has plus 100 attack speed. So he'll still attack at the same rate, but he's affected less by negative attack speed. Added a patrol command. Interesting. You're now able to bring up the targeting cursor when silenced and instead get the error upon targeting rather than clicking the button. Single target with AoE effects now have a new targeting UI. We'll have to check that out. Ranged all pick initial pre-picking time reduced from 15 to 5. Holy crap. Towers no longer have a very minor experience bounty. Previously there was 25 XP that split evenly in the area. Simplified some minor damage and armor types. Okay. So they removed the light attack type and moved the following units to the standard attack type. Effectively 40 to 50% versus structures. Removed the weak armor type and moved the following unit to the soft armor type, same as creeps, so Beastmaster's Hawk. Oops. I can't tell if that's a buff or not. Combine the basic and strong armor types like various other neutrals. Okay. Train added a new neutral hard camp for each team near their respective secret shops. Added a small ramp from the Radiant secret shop to the ward spot above it. Moved the Radiant hard camp closer to the Dire off lane. Expanded the turn. So rather than read off all of these terrain changes, I'm just going to move into whenever this is ready. It seems to be huge. I'm going to move in and I'll show what's going on the map since they haven't provided pictures. Grievel's Greed has been rescaled, so you're no longer as good at flash farming or earlier. Like, that bounty rune doesn't mean as much to you, but I guess it gives you an incentive to think about maxing Grievel's Greed over Acid Spray. Maybe you could turn Alk into like a jungler or something with lesser Acid Spray now, and since there's more camps and shit. Bane got a movement speed reduction, base HP regeneration for Batrider increased. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a pretty significant increase. And then they increased, or they switched Flame Break's mana to scale up. Wild Axis is no longer unit targeting. Call of the Wild cooldown has been rescaled so that you're not without your little animal friends later on in the game. Bloodright cooldown has been rescaled to be even numbers, or, well, better increments in my opinion. Janata movement and attack speed reduction increased. Okay, so that's going to get more effective at later levels. Drunken Haze cooldown has been reduced. It's just going to be a little bit more effective at the later levels. Going to be able to toss it out kind of like a bounty hunter track in the middle of a team fight where you're just throwing mischance on people. Primal Splits dispel magic damage. 2 summons increased. Okay. Primal Splits dispel magic cooldown reduced from 6 to 4, and Primal Splits Windwalk cooldown reduced from 7 to 5. So I guess you know, like a Brewmaster Primal Split thing, the dispel one, I think that's the blue one, is going to be more effective against like golems and stuff. Oh, Bristleback got a Scepter upgrade. Nasal Goo is no longer targeted. Instead, it applies goo to all enemies around you and 600 AoE when casted. That's kind of interesting. So, like, that would make Bristleback like the ultimate Shiva's carrier. You just jump in and you slow everyone down. Like, if you had that combined with, like, a vacuum wall or something, like, how could anybody ever leave if they were trying to run from you? Or, like, if you got a blink and you jumped forward and did that to everybody. They increase the Quill Spray max damage, and they reduce the mana cost of the Nasal Goo. Spawn Spiderling damage has been reduced. Not that surprised. Return damage has increased. Wow, 75%. Seems pretty good. Chaos Knight Reality Rift bonus damage has been increased. Shen has got an increase to his base strength. Penitence mana cost has been reduced. And the duration is now solid 8. So Chin's probably going to be a little bit more effective at lower levels. And that's probably going to help him jungling as well. Klink's agility growth has increased by 0.3. Strength growth increase for Clockwork by 0.2. And Power Cogs now spawn in a circle rather than a rectangle. That's... I don't really know how that's going to work out, because I can think of a lot of times where having that square, like when you're in like some sort of awkward position, has been really effective. I don't know exactly how well a circle is going to work out. Probably mostly the same, but I think that in a few separate instances, it'll work in a way that is going to piss a lot of people off. Crystal Nova cooldown reduced from 13 to 12. Not a huge change. Arcane Aura level mana, or Arcane Aura level 4 mana regen increased from 2.5 to 5, or 2.5/5, so allies and self, to 3 and 6. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's not... I mean, you max Arcane Aura, you know, some of the time. Ooh! Sorry, skipping down to the next here. Darkseer base intelligence is reduced from 27 to 25, but Ion Shell is now purgeable. Wow, that sucks. Like, that means that, like, if Doom grabs that purge ability early in the game, like, if he lanes against Darkseer, he's just like, boom, shut him right down. Same for, like, Chen, Enchantress, anybody with fucking Helm of the Dominator. Oh, wow. That sucks. Shallow Grave cast point has been increased. That's annoying as a lover of Dazzle. Poison Touch mana cost reduced from 100 to 70. That's okay. Shallow Grave mana cost is increased just to 150 all around. Weave no longer provides 800 flying vision. Now provides ground vision for the AoE of the ultimate for 3 seconds. Okay, so all of the heroes that are cool, that are fucking around and shit, have been reworked. So let's see. Due to hero redesigns, the following heroes have been removed from Captain's Mode for a short period. So, like, till the next patch or some shit. Wow, they took out Winter Wyvern. That's huge. And Doom. So, Death Prophet, Doom, Faceless Void, Lone Druid, Riki, and Winter Wyvern. Okay, so let's look into this. Replace Witchcraft with a new ability called Spirit Siphon. It creates a spirit link between you and the target, draining 20 plus whatever percentage of their max HP per second, and then slowing their movement. So it's kind of like a chase mechanism. It's kind of like Razor's like Link, but it starts draining health, And they increased her base movement speed to holy shit. Compared to how fast she was moving before. Crypt Swarm's cooldown has been reduced. Silence cooldown has been reduced. Exorcism Spirit count just increases over time instead of doing the weird witchcraft ability. And the Exorcism spawn rate has decreased from 1 ghost per 0.1 seconds to 0.3 seconds. Okay, so they replaced Level Death with a new ability. Passive / autocast attack ability, mini stuns for 0.3 seconds, and applies a 4-second burn that deals 40 plus damage. Oh my god, that makes Race Car Doom just so much more stupid. Like, oh god, and it's got a 4-second cooldown at max level. I can't wait to play this Doom. That's all I want to play right now. I love Doom, even though he's such a boring hero. Base attack time has been increased a little bit, so he does attack a little bit slower. So making that attack speed necessary for that little mini stun if you're a dick like me. Scorcher damage heal reduced. That kind of sucks. It's only by like increments of 5, I think. Well, it scales downward, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or 5, 4, 3, 2. And the movement speed, that went down. That's a little sad. And then the Doom cooldown is increased from 100 to 125. Dragon Blood HP regen on Dragon Knight got a pretty big buff, 12 seconds. That's a lot of regen. Like, this, I can't like say what kind of effects that they're gonna have, but that sounds ridiculously good. Like 12 regen. Oh, Death Prophet, or Drow Ranger got a Scepter. Marksmanship now causes her attacks to splinter on the target and split into 2 arrows, affecting 2 random units in a 375 radius. The splintered arrow deals 50% damage each. Primary target still takes full damage. Interesting. And it carries all the attack modifiers, so I don't know. I guess that could mean like crits even better on Drow, or like Maelstrom's even better on Drow, something like that. Earth Spirit, he's back in Captain's mode. His intelligence growth has been reduced. Boulder Smash stun AoE reduced from 200 to 160. That's a really small area. Geomagnetic Grip can now only pull allied heroes when using Scepter. Wow, I don't like that at all. That's kind of shitty. Earth Splitter damage has been rescaled on Elder Titan. Mana cost has been rescaled as well. Earth Splitter's physical damage component is no longer reduced by damage block. Okay, that's kind of nice. That kind of balances out the first thing. Fire Remnants no longer give vision. That's not the worst thing in the world. Enchantress, enchant cooldown reduced. Okay, Eidolon movement speed increased. Yes. Black Hole cooldown has been reduced. Not by a whole lot, but you know, it's enough. And Malefice damage has been increased. That's pretty cool. Oh no, they replaced Backtrack. How am I ever going to be so bullshit? Replace Backtrack with new ability called Time Dilation. Time Dilation applies a debuff to all nearby enemies and a 650 AoE for scaling seconds, 6 to 9. Causes time to be frozen on all enemy abilities, causing their cooldowns to make no progress while they have this debuff. Slows movement and attack speed for each locked ability. Interesting. That sounds pretty cool. And then Time Walk kind of works like Weaver's ultimate. It undoes any damage taken in the last 2 seconds. So that's kind of neat. I like that. Time Walk cooldown has been rescaled down to 6 seconds. Makes him a little bit easier, like when he's jumping and shit. Time Walk mana cost has been reduced as well. The range has been reduced. Holy shit, that is small. Time Walk cast point reduced from 0.35 to 0.2. Calldown's first missile damage has been reduced on Gyro. Berserker's Blood bonuses are provided linearly from full until 10 HP rather than stepwise in 7% increments. Okay, that seems interesting. So I think that's a buff to Huskar. rather than going in 7% increments. Then it'll just. And I mean, I guess it works both ways. Invoker now starts with Invoke level 1 at the beginning of the game. Invoke now has the standard 6, 11, 16 leveling. And level 25 Invoker, since he is now missing an ability level, has an attribute bonus ability that grants 6 all stats. Cool. Jakiro got base damage increase. Chakra magic cooldown reduction increased from 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chakra magic buff duration increased from 12 to 15. Now restores and increases mana capacity. I wonder if that's permanent. It doesn't say. It's probably temporary, but still, that sounds. Kunkka got a scepter. Ghost Ship now drags enemies within a 200 AoE of it towards the crash site, and now starts from where you are rather than behind you. Lands in the same position it normally would have. Enemies are still able to perform actions while being pulled by the Ghost Ship. Okay, so that gives you a little bit better chance to hit your ult as Kunkka, and it's going to help you out. Like, Kunkka Magnus sounds stupid now if you're going to drag them all to one spot. Torrent now gives your team vision over target area immediately upon cast rather than just when triggered. Tidebringer is now an auto cast ability, will only trigger if turned on or cast directly on the target. Tidebringer damage bonus has been increased. AoE has been rescaled, so it's a little bit bigger at the start, and Ghost Ship mana cost has been reduced. Moment of Courage cooldown reduced from 2.7, 2.1, 1.5, 0.9. It's just gotten 0.1 lower, I think, each time. Legion Commander's Scepter now makes you and your target immune to all damage unless the source is between the duel participants. That makes Legion kind of scary with an Ags. Shit. Like, if she's stronger than you, she's gonna win. You can't have your teammates help you out. Rage attack speed bonus has been increased. Feast damage and lifesteal has been increased. Infest cooldown reduced from 100 and down. Okay, that's not crazy. Earthspike mana cost has been reduced. That's dumb. Earthspike duration has increased. 2.6 seconds stun. That's... I like that. And then mana drain cooldown has been reduced as well. So, pretty okay things for Lion. Luna's turn rate is increased, and Eclipse Scepter Beam interval reduced from 0.6 to 0.3. That's a lot faster. Okay, so now we have replaced Synergy with a new ability for Lone Druid called Savage Roar. Causes enemies in a 325 AoE around you or your bear to run away with 20% movement speed bonus for whatever, 1.2 to 2.4 seconds towards their fountain. What a team-saving ability. I'm gonna jump in and make everybody run away. Like, Blink Lone Druid or some shit like that in a team fight could totally save someone. Okay, Lycan. Lycan Wolves and Shapeshift no longer grant critical strike. That sucks. Lycan Wolves now gain Cripple at level 2. They take 8 damage per second and lose 40 attack speed for 4 seconds. Shapeshift now grants all units under your control a 40% chance for a critical strike. Okay, so it turned from, like, crits to chance for crits. Added Scepter to Magnus. Skewer distance has been increased. Slow has been reduced, so it scales up. And slow duration has increased. Let's see the Scepter. Changes in power to be an allied hero aura. Affects ranged heroes for half values and causes them to deal splash damage around the target in a 200 AoE. Can still be cast on units, but does not stack. That's pretty sweet. I like that a lot. That seems like it would be useful. Double damage no longer affects all Meepo units. Mystic Stake no longer increases mana steal per jump. Mana steal is now scaled in that way. Okay. Marana attack range has increased. Starstorm radius increased. Sacred Arrow now instantly kills the first unit it hits if it is a non-ancient creep. What does that mean? Does that mean is it gonna kill like I see like the morphling thing? Could it kill like an Arc Warden ultimate thing? Oh no, that's morphlings. They just don't have a fucking picture. So what is that? What does that mean for Sacred Arrow? It says unit. I assume that doesn't mean hero, but like, is that like the first unit it hits in the game? Like, what is that? I need to know. Naga Siren got intelligence increase. Prophet got an intelligence increase, and the Treant damage got increased. That's cool. Necrophos got a base armor increase. Void slow at night has been reduced and scales now. Base health regen for Ochre has increased. I like that. Nyx's Impale duration increased. It scales up to 2.8 now instead of all these weird double post decimal numbers. Spike Carapace cooldown reduced. Okay. They reworked Astral Imprisonment. I can see down there. Oracle is now in Captain's mode. Fate's Edict cooldown reduced or rescaled from 12, and so it goes down further. Fate's Edict duration reduced. I like that. Fate's Edict cast range rescaled. Fortune's End mana cost reduced. Fortune's End can now target allies. Does not root or hurt the ally, but purges and applies the effect in the area. That's pretty cool. False Promise no longer continually despells after the initial cast. It previously continuously removed all debuffs, including stuns. Wow, I did not know that. False Promise duration is increased. Cooldown rescaled. Mana reduced. Reworked how Astral Imprisonment works. Astral Imprisonment now deals damage to enemies in an area around the target when it ends. The target itself will also take damage. If it's an enemy, it deals this much magic damage, and it affects a 400 area. It doesn't steal intelligence now and can be targeted on creeps. That's kind of interesting. I'll be interested to see how that works. I mean, it sucks that there's, like, no mana burning out of that anymore, essentially getting rid of their mana by stealing their intelligence, but... or decreasing the size of their mana pool. Only by 1, essentially, or it's probably scales down, like, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, something like that. Not even looking at it. Astral Imprisonment cast range has been rescaled, so it's going to scale up instead of just staying at 500, so it's going to get a little bit bigger range. The imprisonment duration is increased to just to a solid 4 seconds. Essence Aura AoE reduced from 1000 to the standard 900 aura radius. Seems fair. Arcane Orb is now what's stealing the intelligence, and it's only on heroes, and it's for 40 seconds. And then his intelligence growth has been reduced, whereas Phantom Assassin's base intelligence has increased. Sunray turn rate has increased. Supernova damage per second has increased. Illusory Orb, mana cost reduced. That's pretty cool. 80 at the first level. I like that. And the cooldown has increased. Reworked Scepter on Pudge. Reduces the cooldown of Meat Hook to 4 seconds and increases the damage from 360 to 475. Damn. Who is ready for the sick hooks? Dismember damage is... it's reduced and it's buffed at the same time because it's going to add on his strength. So, like... bigger, scarier Pudge with Flesh Heap is going to do a shit fuck ton more damage with his ult. And so I guess he's going to scale maybe a little bit better if, you know, he has a really good early game. Decrepify is no longer going to slow allies. That makes Pugna a little better, I think. Queen of Pain. Scream. Damage has been reduced by 10, it looks like, at the first 2 levels. 10 and 15, yeah. Sonic Wave travel speed has been reduced, so I guess you'll have a way to possibly avoid that. I think it's disjointable. Let's see. Riki has been reworked. So, rework permanent invisibility to include backstab. That sounds stupid. So, Riki grants however much damage when attacking from behind. So that's just like part of his passive now. They just combined the 2 passives and took away the regen. And then Blink Strike back to basic ability without changes. Okay. And now he has a new ultimate called Tricks of the Trade. Riki phases out of the world for up to 3, 4, or 5 seconds because it's going to scale thrice, attacking every enemy from behind in a 450 area around him. He attacks once when phasing out and then once per second while being phased out. So is this like a channeled ability? So he's going to attack 4 times on the first 5, and then so six attacks at max level. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. They reduced his strength gain, so he's a little weaker, and also his agility, so he's well, first squishier than weaker, rather. Smokescreen no longer slows turn rates, and they reduced his base armor. So he's going to be a little bit weaker in the start, but that sounds like a really interesting... It kind of makes him sort of like Ember Spirit, I guess. I don't know how this is going to be disrupted or exactly how it's going to work. Can be canceled anytime. It's weird. It's not a quick thing, I guess. They rework Sand King Scepter Rubik. Fade Bolt attack damage reduction increased. Okay, so it's just going to do a little bit more damage reduction. They reworked the Scepter. Base strength hasn't been increased, and the Caustic Finale slow has been increased by 5%. Doubles Burrow Strike cast range and applies Caustic Finale poison to heroes. That's pretty cool. Disruption illusions duration have increased. Okay, so they reduced the base armor on Shadow Fiend, and they increased the mana raise cost. That's exactly what I expected to come out of this. Requiem of Souls waves now return back to Shadow Fiend, dealing 40% damage on the way back. All of the damage the Requiem does to heroes on its way back heals you. Wow. In my opinion, if you can manage to get a Scepter on Shadow Fiend, which seems totally doable seeing as he builds all kinds of crazy items and shit, that totally negates that Shadow Raise nerf. Like, holy fuck. Just after watching some of these games, if you have that Aghanims, like, dealing, you know, a little less than half the damage on the way back to you because it's already gotten heroes so low, and then it's gonna heal you, like, holy shit, man. Mass Serpent Wards require 2 hits to destroy, and Shackles do more damage. Silencer replace Curse of the Silence with a new ability called Arcane Curse. Targets an area, causes enemies to take damage over time. Anytime they cast a spell, the duration of the debuff is increased. If an enemy affected by this debuff is silenced, the debuff will pause. No damage and no time elapses. So it's damage over time. Spellcast means the same as CUTS. Rolls for stuff that procs Magic Stick and isn't an item. I am okay with this. Glaives is no longer a unique attack modifier. Core Silencer can be way more of a thing. Amplify damage reworked so that it only reveals the target. Concussive shot mana has been reduced. Electric vortex mana has been reduced. Sven got a base damage increase. God Strength Scepter aura bonus damage has increased quite a bit. Refraction is now always visible. Poor TA. Terrorblades in Captain's Mode. Tidehunter has a scepter. Ooh, I do love my Tidehunter. Anchor Smash cast time has been reduced. I like that. Ravage Stun duration has been rescaled to it's bigger now, essentially. It's smaller in the beginning, but it's bigger in the next 2 levels. Causes Gush to become a ground-targeted wave ability that travels for 1800 range. Wow. It's not a great Ags upgrade, but I mean still. Whirling Death debuff duration increased. Whirling Death mana cost decreased down to 70. Oh, wow. Reactive armor duration rescaled. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit worse to start off with. That's kind of nice. Laser cast time has been improved, and the laser cast range has been increased. That's going to help Tinker out a little bit. Craggy Exterior now triggers on attacks landing rather than on start. I like that. That's good. Leech Seed mana cost has been reduced from 100. It's going to go to 80, and it's going to go to 5 less at the max level. Overgrowth AoE is increased quite a bit. Same with Scepter. Fervor reduced by about 5. It's going to be stronger at the early levels, but it's going to be just a little bit weaker there towards the end. But they did increase the max stacks. Range Whirling Axis cooldown has been reduced. Tusk. Okay, so movement speed reduced from 305 to 300. That's unfortunate. Snowball gather radius has been reduced. Snowball can no longer pull units out of Black Hole or Chronosphere. That sucks. Ice Shard's damage has been reduced. So not too many changes to the hero. In terms of, like, he's not, like, super broken, but I mean, he's just a little bit worse. Just a little bit. Tombstone zombie damage has been reduced. Tombstone bounty increased. And Tombstone no longer grants experience. Enrage is no longer purgeable on Ursa. That's nice. And they have allowed a Scepter upgrade, and it allows you to cast your ultimate while disabled and reduces the cooldown. Okay. Venge got a Scepter bonus because she already has a Scepter upgrade. It causes you to spawn a Vengeance Illusion when you die. The Vengeance Illusion deals 50% damage, takes 150% damage, and is able to use all of your abilities, but not items. The Vengeance Illusion lasts until she revives. Wow. And it still does the Nether Swap shit. That's awesome. Vengeful Spirit. Love that shit. Venomous Gale cooldown reduced. Stoneform AoE increased. Base strength on Warlock. Shadow Word duration increased. Base damage increased by 3 on Weaver. The Swarm attack time has been improved. Shackle Shot is now just disjointable. Fuck yeah. Shackle Shot speed has increased. The angle has been reduced. The Power Shot speed no longer decreases by a small amount as it goes through units. Awesome. Wyvern's been removed from Captain's Mode. Cold Embrace cooldown has increased. Arctic Burn slow has been reduced. Winter's Curse primary and secondary units are now immune to all damage from their enemies. Winter's Curse secondary units now have 50 attack speed bonus. Winter's Curse AoE increased. Cooldown increased. Duration increased. And fix Winter's Curse lingering if the primary target died. That's kind of like a huge hit to Wyvern. Like, that sucks. That the secondary units are immune to damage. So they can only really hurt themselves. So let's see. It's a good way to put people in like a placeholder or some shit, but... So let's see. Maledict mana cost reduced from 120, and it's going to scale. And then the cast range is increased, and then Wraith King, you can toggle the Vampiric Aura. Alright, so let's look at some of these new items. Cost 75 gold, gives you +2 damage, and you can consume it to restore 75 HP. So I could see somebody like in the mid lane getting like 2 of these or something like that. That'd be cool. I wonder if they stack. Dragon Lance, so you get the Ogre Club and the Quarterstaff. 10 strength, 10 attack speed, 10 damage, and 130 attack range for range heroes only. That is a really great item. And it can be disassembled so that you can turn it into other shit. I like that a lot. Aether Lens. So energy booster, ring of health, and a cloak. And 200 cast range. Cast range improvement affects targeted spells and distance related spells. Does not affect AoE abilities like Poison Nova. So Toss. Oh god. So Toss and Jesus. That's pretty sweet, but still. Okay, so this is Quelling Blade, a Ring of Protection, and a Recipe. So it's going to give you 2 armor in the jungle, gives you the bonuses of Quelling Blade, lets you target non-player enemy units to remove 40% of their current HP. Okay, so this is a farming item, and it gives you a little bit of armor too. I like that. I like that a lot. Bash damage increase on the Abyssal. Damage bonus decrease. Courier purchase cooldown increase from 7 seconds to 2 minutes. Animal courier cost decrease. Yes. Movement speed reduced by 5. Total cost reduced by 50. There have been a change to Boots of Speed. Gotcha. So attack speed bonus aura now affects buildings. Cool. Cooldown reduced from 15 to 13. Bottle cost has been reduced. Health regen per charge has been reduced. Mana regen per charge has been reduced. Charge now heals over 2.5 seconds instead of 3. And added bottle to side shop starts with only 1 charge. That's kind of cool. That you can, like, if you really need it or something, I could see that like happening. I don't know, maybe in like some type of chase scenario, like you're gonna get a bottle charge or something out of that immediately if you needed to buy like a bottle anyways or some shit, like putting it in the side shop. That sounds cool. I think I'd like to see how that's gonna work out. Flutter movement speed increased, duration reduced. Clarity got kind of a buff. It just gives you more mana over a longer time. Magic resistance reduced on Cloak. Crimson Guard chance from 75% to block to 40, 20 to 100% to block 32, 16. That's interesting. And the cooldown has been reduced by 10 seconds. Crit strike from 25% chance to 2.4 times 30% chance for 2.2. Okay. Diffusal Blade. Better agility bonus. Intelligence bonus as well. Endurance bonus movement speed increase from 10 to 13%. Fuck yeah. I love drums. It's such an underrated item. Mana cost reduced on Ethereal Blade. Flying Courier cost reduced. Hell yeah. Base magic resistance been reduced because of the change to Cloak. HP regen even higher on the Heart. Helm the Dominator. Dominate now says the Dominator creeps base movement speed to 350. Cool. Hooded Defiance now has an active ability. Creates a spell shield on your hero that absorbs up to 325 magical damage. That's interesting. Iron Branch can now be used by targeting the ground, planting a happy little tree that lasts 20 seconds. 200 cast range. So is that gonna be used in chases now? Are you gonna carry an extra fucking iron branch so that you're like running through the trees and you're like, boom, there's a tree that's gonna last 20 seconds, and if you can't fucking get rid of it, I get to TP out? Is that how this is gonna work? Are you gonna be able to like shut yourself in the fucking woods? That's fantastic. Pierce improved from 20% to deal 40 damage to 25 to 85. Okay. Damage bonus reduced from 21 to 10. Wow. Lincoln Sphere cooldown has been reduced and the damage bonuses have been increased. Mantle's been removed from the side shop. Mini bash proc damage has increased and the damage bonus has been reduced because of the changes to the fucking javelins. Recipe cost reduced. Necronomicon archer attack range has been increased. Observer and sentry wards now have an AoE indicator before placing it. I like that. That's pretty cool. They increased the bounty on the obs. Now affects the replenish time of charged abilities. So is that like bottle or oh the replenish time. So like the old Riki's Blink Strike, Fire Remnants, things like that. Orb of Venom is no longer a unique attack modifier. So does that mean... Oh. So could you be applying, like, Orb of Venom bullshit to, like, with a Maelstrom or something like that? God, fuck. Phase active no longer cancels when casting. Movement speed reduced by 5. Because Boots of Speed. Yeah. Quelling Blade cost has been reduced. Oh my god, the cost of that Ring of Protection has been reduced. Cripple cooldown increased. Cripple now grants units that attack the target 40% accuracy. That's pretty great. It's kind of like an earlier answer to like Evasion Heroes. Sage Maim no longer pierces spell immunity. Greater Maim no longer pierces spell immunity on SMY. Duration's increased on Satanic. Hex cooldown has been reduced on Scythe of Vice. Silver Edge debuff is no longer dispellable. Strength bonus increase on Basher. Bash damage increased from 60 to 120. Damage reduced from 25 to 10 because of Javelin. Cost reduced from 150. Boosted Tangos now lasts for double the duration instead of providing double the healing rate. Using Tango on Iron Branch trees provides double healing duration. That's cool. Tranquil Boots armor reduced from 4 to 3. Movement speed reduced by 5. Vanguard, same changes because of the fucking, whatever it's called. Bigger Vanguard. Is it a Cuirass? Is it a Crimson Guard? That's what I'm talking about. You know, words and shit. Vit Booster's been added to the side shop. Now requires 2 Robes of the Magi instead of a 900 recipe. That's okay. Ultimate Orb has been removed from the side shop. Movement speed bonus reduced from 10 to 8%. That's not the greatest. Armory's been moved. Custom games. There's now a store tab. Updated all random deathmatch. Fixes in the Steam client. Fix a problem that causes frame rate hitches. Added a mechanism to Steam for Dota to tell it when you're in a match, so Steam should not patch the game. Steam never downloads updates to the game or custom game items that have already been completely installed once you launch Dota. Let's see, added a clear button that lets you clear a slot on your profile card, fix a bug where picking none for a stat didn't pick on profile cards. Found Healing now shows a buff icon during its duration, adding a new targeting UI for unit AoE abilities. Improved pathfinding, fixed Dota Spectator auto spectate games. Cool. So that's the patch, and I will upload a video later that will have me doing shit on the test client. Right now, I have to go to dinner with my fiance, so I will be back later. I hope you guys enjoyed this first impressions video for the patch. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to get back on at a later point in time after the patch is already hit. Hopefully, I'll be with one of the guys from Enemy GG, whether it be the manager, Cheyenne. Hopefully, I can get Brian, BSJ, to join me. And we'll do a little bit more in-depth on, what this patch means, what it's going to change, the observed changes, and so on and so forth. So thanks for watching, guys.